Hi and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm working on a project called Whimsical Wearables, and this is a collaboration that Christina Creates, who else, Dottie B Vintage and Sobits Christy have got on the go. Now the last one I seen was from Christine, and she made this beautiful necklace out of little pieces off doilies and things like that. So I'm going to show you today what my version of that is. I'll have all the links below to the other ladies and their collaboration, so you can check that out. And yeah, we'll get on with it. I've already made my smallest little motif here on my necklace, and I've gone ahead and I've plaited my thread, and I used for this one I used a big button. Just used a button and I covered the button, but on the other ones I couldn't find the size that I wanted, so I cut up some pieces of my plastic ice cream containers. So I'm going to just finish cutting one of those out with you and go from there. So I didn't want the bulk. I liked these bigger buttons, but I didn't want the bulk. So and there's big buttons here. If you like the bulk, go ahead and cover them. I thought that was a great way of getting, you know, a big circle. And yeah, so there's a button in this little one, but then I thought I wanted to leave it a little bit lightweight, and so I decided to cut up some ice cream container. I think this was the lids. So what I've done is I've got two of the next size, two pieces of fusible felt, and I've got a backing, and then that's my front face. Okay, so I'll start on the next one, the next size up. I'm doing 3 different sizes, and they're going to go from smallest to biggest. So it's not going to be have the biggest one in the middle. It's going to have the biggest one on one end. So it's going to be a little bit different in that way. Right, what I did, because I'll get my iron plugged in, what I did was use this fusible felt to give it some padding, and I'm going to iron that onto the back of my picture here. Okay, where I want it to land. I'm just sort of looking through the light, making sure that's where I want it. I can sort of see through that fabric anyway, and I just want to get that on nicely where it's not going to interfere with anything. Like that. And I'll show you how I sewed the edges together, and how I hid the thread in the back of there, and as I go along. So here's this iron. Okay, and once it's ironed on, I'm going to just cut probably half an inch around the perimeter of the felt circle. Like that. And then I'm going to do the same to this little gingham fabric. I'm going to just put my felt circle on there and give that an iron there so it fuses on. And while we're here, we might as well do these ones too. I'm going to do my bigger one, iron them on, and this bigger pattern here as well. Now I sort of want to choose what part of the pattern to use here. I want to get a little bit of each of those colours happening in here. So go about there. Let's see if I've got it on. No. Yeah, oh yeah, I've got it on the right side. I'm just checking. Because I want to catch some of these different coloured flowers in that one. I'll just flip it over. Alright, I can turn that iron off now. So we do the same to this one, just cut a little edge. Now pop over and see Christine's make, because you'll get the ins and outs of the collaboration if you do that, and that will be handy. That will give them a shout out as well. Now what am I doing now? Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'll put this one aside and work on this one. I'm just going to thread up just some regular thread, and I'm just going to sew around this like you would sew a yo-yo flower. So I'm just going to do a running stitch all around the edge. I'm not worried about the raw edges because that's all going to get hidden. So I'll go right round the edge of the fabric, and then before you pull it in tight, I'm going to put my circle in there and then give it a pull, and it will encase that then into my fabric. Okay, and then that will be my little round, and then I'm just going to give it some more little sews across here just to tighten it up. And cut it off, and that's 1/2 of your little circle done. And then you go ahead and do the same to the next one. The gingham one is going to be the backing. And we've got our next size ready. Now what I'm going to do with this is sew this together. Now I've got a piece of, I'm not sure whether that's going to be long enough, so let's get another piece. I'm just going to put a little knot in the back, and then I'm going to bring my 2 pieces and put them together. So I'm just going to come in the back of one of the circles, it doesn't matter which one. I'm going to sit them together like this and just hold them together, and I'm going to do a blanket stitch around both of them. So I'm going to pick up the front and the back, and we're going to do a blanket stitch all the way around. So I'm just going to come in just a little way into the front face so I see that blanket stitch, and then pick up the fabric on the back circle. And then to finish it off, I'm just doing a little loop back at the first stitch, and I'll go in there and tie a knot, and then make it disappear down into my fabric. Right, so that's the little next size up of the little circles. And what I did on this one, I added some beads. So I'm going to do the same on here. I'm going to go in the back somewhere and come out and hide that tail. Like that. And then do a knot just to fasten this thread off, because it is hard to knot this thread. Okay, and then I've got my little tail hidden, and I've got these little beads here that Nat gave me. They are gorgeous, and I'm going to use some orange ones today. And I've got a bead, well, a size, it's a beading needle, and I've got beading thread here that I've waxed, and I'm going to just put a little bead on every little cross section of the blanket stitch. And before I cut it, so I'm just going to thread the necklace plait onto the needle, and then I'm going to, where I want it to sit, about here, I'm going to put, see this needle has got a flat end, and I'm going to just sit it under or between those two layers that I sandwiched. Okay, and then I'm going to bring it out the other side around where I want it to sit on my necklace. Okay, a bit higher up, I think, about there, and I'm going to pull that thread through so that then you won't see that on the back. Okay, and I'm going to pull it through about where I want it to sit. I'm just going to make sure my necklace is fairly even, it's got string on either side, and then before I tie this or cut this beading thread off, I have to thread it back on. I'm going to anchor down that string so it doesn't move. Okay, so I'm just going to go in and catch that string just a few times, and then tie that off. And then I'm going to just hide that then back into the fabric, the end of it, and then cut it off. Okay, right, so that's those two done. Now we're going to go on to do the bigger one, and it's the same deal with the bigger one. Okay, we're just going to thread up and gather those two circles together, a little bit like a yo-yo flower. Now this is just my version of this. Christine's got a different version of how she's done hers, but it's similar, and that's why you need to follow the links and pop over and give credit to the creators of this idea. And so we'll just do the same here. We'll gather up these two circles, and we'll pop that plastic inside as we go. Alright, and now we're going to thread up and do our blanket stitch. Right, we've got that one sewed up. Now we will bring our necklace back in, or the thread, and we'll thread it onto where we want that to sit. Okay, I sort of want the flower up the top, so we'll come in about here with this flat nosed needle and probably go out about, oh no, hang on, I want it to sit, how did I want it to sit? There, like that. So go in about here. And come out the other side. Okay, like that. Like that. And before I tighten that up, I'm going to thread up my beading needle, and then I'll secure that that end there once I've finished the beads. Okay, so I'm going to come in from somewhere in the fabric over there to hide my tail, and then do that little knot there to secure my thread. Just keep my finger on the tail too so it doesn't come out. And that's going to give that a nice little, just a little secure base. Right, then we're going to go around the edge and do our little beads. I have my 3 on, and I don't like how they sort of twist around like this, so I am going to see if I can just tighten that up a little bit. I was thinking about putting a bead between here, and I might put some of these, one of these long ones on, and see if I can just like this, just see if I can get that to tighten it up a little bit for me. So I'll just slip through the back of this one over to the other side, if I can grab it. Okay, and then we'll just put another little long one in this space as well, if I can get it on my needle. And then I'm going to go through the back of the small one out towards the other side of it, if I can untangle everything. And we're going to put a little bead on that too, so I'm going to put another long one. Right, hide your tail back in and clip that off. Now I have to go back over to the other side and put one of those on the other side, because I haven't put one there. I probably should have done it while I was doing the beads around the edge, and then cut it off. Right, so we've got all the main part of our little necklace put together. Isn't it pretty? Right, I'm going to go find a bead to use as a stopper. Right, I found a little orange wooden bead in my stash, and I'm going to thread both of them through that bead, both those ends. Just be careful I don't go through the thread with the previous one. Alright, and then I'm going to, you won't be able to see this, but I'm going to hang it on myself and see how much thread that I want to leave. Okay, I'm going to put the knot up here a little bit further. And then that bead won't come off then, and that will be your stopper. And then I'll cut that and just fray out those threads that I've plaited. Like that. And then this is going to be the necklace, so that you pull it down onto your neck. Now it comes up, when I had it on my neck then, it came up like this, and I sort of liked that because it doesn't go out like that. Of course it's going to sort of come up that way on your neck. Right, so I hope you've enjoyed looking at this today and how I put it together, and don't forget to pop over to Christine's channel, because she made this part of the Whimsical Wearables, and then I think Dottie B will have one, and So Bits Christy will have one as well. So isn't that beautiful? This was all from a serviette, and these are the little flowers that are still left on it, tiny little flowers, and I used one of them to make this smaller one. And then these other parts were different flowers on the serviette. Isn't it gorgeous? It's absolutely gorgeous. Thank you so much, Christine, for showing us how to make this. And Christine did the back a little bit different, but I wanted to hide those strings, so that's why I've done the back like that, and I like how that's turned out. It's nice and flat, and will sit nice against your skin, and I just love this. So this one is going to go to my daughter. She absolutely loves orange. She's fanatical on orange, always has been. She's even got an orange car, and I hope that she loves it. She's a school teacher, and I'm sure she would love wearing this to school. And yeah, I hope you're all well and happy, having a great day. And we have just come back from a weekend away and in our camper, which was really lovely. And I will get into my next project. I've got another little project coming up that is a wearable that you might be interested in, and I've had it in mind for a little while, and when I seen Christine's collaboration coming together, I thought, ooh, I must get in and make that little wearable that I had in mind. Alright, I hope you'll like, share and subscribe, and like I said, pop back over and check out Christine's channels and all the ones that I have linked below, and see what they're up to with this project. And I'll see you soon for a new video, a new make. In the meantime, take care, stay crafty, and bye for now.